Hey guys, so today I want to do a ranking of my top 20 favorite headphone brands. Also, another thing I have to note is that this is just going to be over-ear headphones, so they're not going to be like IEMs or anything. I'm not going to rank these brands based on their earphone or IEM selection. I mean, I guess that could be another video, but IEMs and earbuds are and earphones are kind of their own separate thing. So this ranking is just going to be based mostly on the over-ear headphone offerings that the brand offers. Some of these brands may go into IEMs and earphones, but I'm just going to be ranking them solely on their over-ear selection. So these are just going to be my personal subjective ranking, like for something like headphones or speakers or anything audio related. It's hard to do anything objective. Just my personal experience, like everyone here sound differently, and so yeah, don't be offended if your favorite brand's not on this list or it's too low on this list or whatever. Just for me, this is my personal ranking. Just in terms of how much I enjoy the headphones, if I like their sound quality, their design, their technology, things like that. It's going to influence how much I rank it, and of course the price to performance ratio as well. So yeah, it's going to be my top 20 list here. But I'll start off with an honorable mention here. So I'm going to start off with Bang& Olufsen. So Bang& Olufsen is a Danish company. They've been designing speakers since 1920s, I think. They're one of the oldest companies, might be actually the oldest company on this list. So they've been around for a very long time. However, they're an honorable mention because usually their products are very expensive. Uh, However, they're very nicely designed. That's why I have to mention them. So, I mean, just look at this, $1,300 for a headphone. Wow. These are wireless over ears, so they're not going to be too audiophile because they're wireless. So anything wireless, audiophiles are going to kind of scoff at that. But I will say, like, I have tried the H95 and the HX. The design is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. These are very nicely designed headphones. They got great premium materials and everything. They look amazing. However, their performance is not up to the price level. I mean, $1,000 for a headphone, it makes the Apple AirPods Max look like a good deal. I mean, okay, the noise cancellation, first of all, there's better headphones for noise cancellation. It's not bad, but it's not like the best for noise cancellation. At least the AirPods Max gives you really good noise cancellation, and it's cheaper. For the sound quality itself, there are better headphones you can get as well. But I do have to mention Bang& Olufsen because their design is amazing, and I think that's probably what they're known for. You basically, when you're paying for when you're buying Bang& Olufsen stuff, you're basically paying for the design more than anything else. Like, yeah, it's basically just the design. Nothing too special about the technology. I haven't heard anyone say, "Oh, Bang& Olufsen has great technology" or anything. No, they're just mostly well known for the design. If you love this beautiful Scandinavian design aesthetic, that's what you're paying the extra money for. So yeah, nothing technology-wise is impressive about Bang& Olufsen, or the sound quality for that matter. It's just mostly about the design. So, anyways, honorable mention. All right, number 20 on my list. I'm going to start off with Grado Labs. Grado is an American headphone maker. They've been doing it since the 1950s for a very long time. I think this stuff is still made in the US. So props to them for doing that for such a long time. So yeah, I have them on this list because I just got to respect their history and how long they've been doing it. I believe they're a family-run company as well. So yeah, just gotta respect Grado for all that. They've been making the same models for a very long time. I think something like this, the SR 325X. I know they're popular with some people. So the thing about Grado headphones is that they're usually very polarizing. Like you either love them or you hate them because they have a certain sound quality to them. They have a house sound. The house sound tends to be very, very bright. And it tends to be harsh to a lot of people. So yeah, I think you either love or you hate the Grado sound. That's the thing. They all have a signature sound. Yeah, that's what Grado is even talking about on their website. They have a signature sound. They're assembled in the U.S. That's great, especially if you're not paying that much for Grado headphones. Actually, Grado headphones, I would say, this is $300. Not like really cheap, but they're not too expensive for headphones either, especially for something that's made in the U.S. in New York, no less. So, anyways, I would say Grado headphones, yeah, not too expensive. I mean, look at this price is reasonable, especially for something that's built in the U.S. The thing is about Grado is I don't like their sound. It's the highs are all too harsh for me, and they have the same sound, essentially the same tuning for all their headphones. So yeah, I just don't like their house sound. Also the fact that for me they don't seem to be very like they don't feel very premium. I know they're like assembled in the U.S. or anything like that, but like I mean, just look at the little like foam pads on the ear cups and everything. Like, no, it's not comfortable to wear. I think that yeah, some of the materials could be better that they use. So yeah, I just don't like the materials that they use. They feel cheap, and they feel uncomfortable to actually wear. And yeah, I just don't like their house sound. They do make some more higher end stuff like that though. So this is a prestige level. Sorry, not the prestige level. I should go up to reference. They do have the flagship headphones. I think they go up to no, not this level. No, they do have hemp headphones. That's interesting. They do make hemp headphones. Seem to be pretty popular. Yeah, this one I'm talking about, the Statement headphones. So yeah, their most expensive headphones, GS3000X. I haven't listened to those. I've listened to the GS1000X before. Wasn't too impressed with them. Again, I don't like the Grado like kind of signature sound. I also don't like the fact that even though these are $1,200 US, they feel very cheap when you actually wear them. So yeah, I don't like that. I don't know about the GS3000X. Maybe I'll try these out sometime if I can. But yeah, so far I've not been very impressed with the sound of any Grado headphones. I like the wood ear cups on these, but that's about the only thing I like from them. Otherwise, headbands uncomfortable. Foam ear pads not comfortable either. They feel cheap, especially for the price that you pay. Anyways, they're on my list because I respect them, but they're not any higher than number 20. All right, number 19 is going to be Bose. So unlike with their speakers, Bose is actually going to be on my list for headphones. The reason is because of their technology mostly. Now Bose I wouldn't say has really great sound or anything. Nobody ever has said Bose has the best sound. They don't. Um, they're actually most of their headphones are kind of very mainstream tuned, like they have too much bass. So it's not really great sound, but their technology is pretty up there. Like in terms of noise cancellation, Bose has always been one of the leaders in noise cancellation. So especially when it comes to wireless headphones, noise cancellation, Bose is on top for that. So far, the only actually so far only a few other brands can compete with Bose when it comes to noise cancellation, and that's Sony and Apple. So only Sony and Apple have been able to compete with Bose when it comes to noise cancellation. But before Sony and Apple, basically there was just Bose. So if you want noise cancellation, it had to be Bose. They're the only ones that really do it right. So anyways, they're number 19 on my list because of their technology mostly, not because of their sound. I had to admit their design is not bad. I do like their design. Um, Looks very clean, and the materials and everything seem to be pretty comfortable. I've worn a few Bose headphones before. I've tested not the Quiet Comfort Ultra, but noise canceling 700s. I've tested those. I've tested the Quiet Comfort 2s. Had those before. Will test the Quiet Comfort Ultras in the future. I do think the design is pretty good. Very modern aesthetic, clean design, and they're okay for comfort. And the technology is very, very good. So that's why they're number 19. But they're not any higher because, I mean, they're still kind of overpriced for the sound that you get out of them. All right, so number 18 is going to be Master and Dynamic. This is a New York company that started roughly 10 years ago, so they're a fairly new company. They are a headphone focused company, so they pretty much only make headphones and earphones. But I put them on this list because I have owned several Master and Dynamic products before. I think generally they are a little bit overpriced, but they are really nicely designed, and the sound quality is decent. So yeah, so that's enough to get you to number 18 on my list. So yeah, first of all, let's talk about the design of this. I think the design is the main strong point of Master and Dynamic. MW75, MW09, both their earbuds, the top of the line earbuds, top of the line over ears, very expensive. I think they're a bit overpriced, but the design is pretty amazing on all their products. Actually, even if you go back to the MH40, which I think is their first product, this almost looks like a vintage pair of Grados. So, except with better materials actually than the Grados. So remember how I said the Grados have kind of like cheap foam pads for the ear pads? Yeah, Master Dynamic actually uses more like Bang & Olufsen type of materials, like this premium lambskin stuff. So yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, let's look at the MW75. This is their most expensive headphone. 600 bucks. That's a little bit overpriced. I probably wouldn't pay more than 450 for these. I think that's probably what they're actually worth, like 400 or 450. But the MW75's noise cancellation is decent, I think, in terms of, well, what I've listened to. I've listened to the MW65s before. Noise cancellation is decent. It's not the best. It's not as good as Bose or Bang or Bowers and Wilkins, but you know, it's okay. It's not as up to the Sony or Bose or Bang & Olufsen. Bowers and Wilkins level in terms of noise cancellation, but it's okay. They do a lot of collaborations, so like they have a Lamborghini, Mercedes, Bugatti version. I mean, yeah, they do a lot of like celebrity endorsements and collaborations and stuff like that. However, for a company that does this many celebrity endorsements, usually the quality's not that good. Like I'm talking about Beats by Dre, right? That kind of stuff. But Master Dynamic actually sound quality is pretty good. It's pretty decent. I've listened to like a bunch of Master Dynamic stuff. I actually have their MW08 wireless earbuds. And yeah, like I said, I've tested the MW65s and MW60s before. It's actually pretty decent sound quality. And the noise cancellation is decent as well. But they're just decent. So they're not like really great, but at the same time they're not bad either. So if you're looking for you know, they do sound better than Bose. I'll give them that. They sound better than Bose, and I would say they sound better than Sony as well. So yeah, in terms of being good sound quality, they're pretty decent sound quality, and I really like their design. So anyways, they're ahead of Bang & Olufsen because they're not as overpriced as Bang & Olufsen. They're ahead of Bose because they actually do sound better than Bose. But yeah, in terms of noise cancellation, it's okay. In terms of sound quality, they're okay. But I do love their design, so I do have to put them here on this list at number 18. All right. Number 17, right after, is going to be Bowers & Wilkins. So Bowers & Wilkins is British company that goes back to the 1960s, so they have a lot of heritage. They're most well known for making speakers. They're not really a headphone company. They're more of a speaker company that dabbles in headphones, but they do make really, really nice headphones. So what I can say is that I've owned a lot of Bowers & Wilkins headphones. I even did a shootout between like Sennheiser Momentum 4s, Sony 1000 XM5s, Bose Noise Cancelling 700. The Bowers & Wilkins PX7S2 won out of all those, and for 300 bucks, it's a really good price. So Bowers & Wilkins is, I would say their prices are, I mean, for these, the lower end models, actually, not their high end model. The high end model is the PX8, which is a little bit overpriced, but the PX7S2 is actually a really good deal. This is actually one of the best sounding wireless headphones on the market, and for 300 bucks, really good deal here. Also, the fact that they look really good. So, yeah, their design, I really like their design actually. I would say they're probably on par with Master Dynamic, and that's why I have them higher than Master Dynamic, is because they actually sound a little bit better than Master Dynamic, and they're not as overpriced as Master Dynamic either. And the noise cancellation is better. So Bowers & Wilkins, their noise cancellation is right below Bose, I would say. So at the top is like noise cancellation technology, Bose, Sony, Apple, okay? Right below that is Bowers & Wilkins. So Bowers & Wilkins is right below the top level in terms of noise cancellation, but they sound a lot better than Bose. They sound a little bit better than Master Dynamic. The noise cancellation is also better than Master Dynamic, and the design is just as good in my opinion. And they're not as overpriced as Bose or Master Dynamic, so that's why Bowers & Wilkins is ahead of those brands. So yeah, if we go to let's see, I also own the PX8 right now. So I used to own the PX7. I actually own the PX8 right now. 700 bucks is a bit overpriced. I wouldn't pay. I'd probably pay maybe 500, 550 for them, but not 700 bucks. The PX8s are really nice sounding headphones. I think for wireless headphones, the only set of wireless headphones that really beat this are the Focal Batis. That's about it. I haven't tried the Mark Levinson 5909s, but PX8s are really good sounding headphones. They're better sounding than the Bang & Olufsen H95s, which are actually more expensive than these. So, anyways, yeah, the PX8s are one of the best sounding wireless headphones I've tried. They look really good. Comfort levels is, pretty comfortable. Noise cancellation, like I said, is pretty up there. So yeah, Bowers and Wilkins, even though they're not technically a headphone company, they're more a speaker company, but I've been impressed with their wireless headphones. Now, the only reason they're higher is because they're not really a headphone company. Like, they make wireless headphones, and for audiophiles, we can't really take companies that only make wireless headphones seriously. It's like you got to make wired headphones to be taken seriously, right? Anyways, they're probably among the wireless headphone companies. They're probably my favorite. Master and Dynamic probably right after them, and then Sony and Bose come after that. All right, and then next up, number 16 is going to be ZMF. They're an American company. I think they're fairly recent. They started fairly recently. Now this is an actual headphone maker, and I love their designs. I mean, just look at them, right? Beautiful, beautiful designs. Like, look at the wood cups and everything. It's like really nicely finished. The only thing is that the ZMF is quite overpriced. I mean, just look at the prices, right? Like over $3,000, $3,000, $3,000. I understand, like, the price is mostly going to the craftsmanship of the headphone. If you look at these wood cups, so yeah, mostly you see like these nice wood cups right here, but that's where the price is going. Like, when in terms of sound quality, okay, this is actually over $4,000. Yeah, it's basically you're paying for this artwork right here. This craftsmanship, that's what you're paying for. The actual sound quality is good. I'm not saying that they're bad headphones or anything. A lot of audiophiles rave about the sound quality, but it's not going to be up to the price level. It's not going to be $4,000. Like, this is not going to compete with a similar $4,000 priced Hi-Fi Man or even Audis. It's not going to be up to that level. You're going to get good sound for sure, very good sound out of a CMF, but you're not going to get the sound that you pay for. Oh, not $4,000 worth of sound. There's going to be better headphones for this price in terms of sound quality. What you're paying for is this craftsmanship out of ZMF. They're an American company. They're kind of new, actually. They haven't been around for that long. I think for a little bit more than 10 years old or something. But yeah, I think I had to put them on this list because I do admire their craftsmanship and the fact that they look really unique. They're actually, all their headphones are unique because they're made from a natural material. But in terms of their sound quality, I cannot rank them that high because you're paying a lot for that. You're paying like $3,000, $4,000, $2,000, but you're not getting that kind of sound quality out of it. So, anyways, they can't be any higher than the number 17 on my list, but they are on my list because look at that. It looks so beautiful. Anyways, I think for ZMF they tend to focus on the craftsmanship and beauty of their headphones rather than the sound quality in terms of the price. So yeah, the price performance ratio aren't very good for these headphones, but I do have to put them on this list because I do love how they look. So they can't be any higher than number 16, unfortunately, because I don't like their price to performance ratio. However, they are on this list because, I mean, just look at them; they're gorgeous, right? Yeah, beautiful wooden headphones and nice craftsmanship. Anyways, yep, that's EMF. Number 15 is going to be AKG. And AKG is a very historic headphone and microphone company. They are originally from Austria. I believe they were started in the 40s, I think. So they have a long history, and they've been used by a lot of different professional musicians in the studio, etc. Yeah, they've had a long history of making headphones and microphones. So AKG, why are they only 15 on my list? So the thing is, AKG basically was bought out by Samsung back with 6 or 7 years ago. They're under so Samsung bought Harman Kardon, which owns AKG. Since then, AKG is mostly just focused on the lower end, so they don't really make too many high-end headphones anymore. So you can see here from their selection here, all their headphones are pretty affordable. Like, they're generally under $200. So you might see, like, okay, this one, what's their most expensive headphone here? It's like, what, $240? Let's keep looking at them. They do have a lot of headphones, so we'll just keep looking at them. Okay, the K701, K702, K712 Pro, these are their most expensive. Actually, the K812 and the K72, I forgot about these. These are their flagship headphones. But for the most part, AKG does not compete in the high-end headphone space. The K712 Pros, don't believe this price here because you can easily find this for under 200 bucks online. So yeah, a lot of these headphones you can find for a lot cheaper than the listed price. So they really only compete in the entry-level wired headphone space, and they're generally pretty good, I would say, for the price. But they sound, very much so. They're not like tuned to be very fun. They're studio headphones. They tend to be very linear, very neutral. A lot of audiophiles like that because it's they don't really color the tuning in any way. They don't add any like extra bass or anything like that. But I can see why if you're listening to music, these might not be the best choice. They're good for monitoring, but for music, they might not sound as fun or exciting to people. And I've tried the K712s before, but yeah, these are I guess their semi flagship. This is their flagship, but K712 Pro, you can easily find for even under 200 bucks. They're not built all that well. They're made of plastic and stuff. They're not that comfortable either. And they sound very neutral, very flat, so not very fun. So it's good for studio monitoring, but I would say for music listening, there wouldn't be my top choice. Now, former engineers of AKC has now made a new company called Austrian Audio. So maybe Austrian Audio might have more premium selections, but I have AKG on my list just because I have to respect the history that AKG has. Very historic headphone brand. And I'm not saying that their headphones are bad or anything. Like they're actually good for studio monitoring. Although Shure is actually even better than that, which is why Shure is actually higher on this list. But yeah, still gotta mention them. They're a very historic brand, so respect them. But they're not really my first choice when it comes to music listening. So yeah. But I do have to commend them for making a lot of affordable headphones. So if you were looking for affordable studio headphones, AKG is right up your alley. All right. Number 14 is going to be Meze. So Meze is a Romanian company. I think they started roughly a little bit more than 10 years ago or something. They're a fairly recent company. They're most well known actually for their higher end stuff first. So mostly they're actually, those three headphones that I just saw in 99 Classics is actually the headphone that really made them famous. But their higher end headphones has really got them like a lot of cred in the audiophile space. So I'm talking about the Elite, Empyrean 2, and the 109 Pro. So I haven't tried the Empyrean 2s. Heard a lot of good things about them, but these are planar magnetic headphones, and Meze has become kind of one of the main players in the planar magnetic space. So, yeah, they make really beautiful headphones. As you can see, very beautiful headphones, very comfortable. Um, However, in terms of their sound quality, I do think they're a bit overpriced in general. So while I haven't heard the Empyrean 2s, I have heard the Elites, and the Elites are actually more expensive than the Empyrean 2s. These retail for like 4,000 bucks. They're not 4,000 bucks in terms of sound quality. I can tell you that. They're very comfortable, very beautiful headphones, and I know they're crafted in Romania and everything. But yeah, it's not 4,000 bucks in sound quality. I mean, they definitely sound good, but I mean, compared to a Hi-Fi Man or compared to even a Dan Clark of the same price level, it doesn't have as much resolution. So they don't have as much detail, as much resolution. I think I was a little bit disappointed by the Meze Elites. They're very fun sounding, but yeah, they're not reference level. They're not as detailed, but they look really nice. They're really comfortable and they're fun sounding. The 109 Pro is probably the one a lot more people are familiar with. Very beautiful looking headphones. They have these nice wooden cups and everything. I've tried these headphones out before. I've actually reviewed them on my channel. They're very beautiful headphones, very comfortable. However, the sound quality is a little bit lacking. I would say they're not that special in terms of sound quality. They're too polite. Like they don't try to do anything. Like they're just trying to be like kind of fun sounding and good for most genres, but yeah, they don't really stand out to me in any area. Like they don't have the best bass, they don't have the best treble, they don't have the best mids, they don't have the best soundstage. They're open backs, so they should have some soundstage, but they don't really stand out to me in any way in terms of the sound. So yeah, I mean, the thing I know Meze for is mostly just appearance and comfort. If you're looking for good looking headphones that comfortable, then Meze will make these. 99 Classics are pretty popular, but these are known for being for having quite a lot of bass actually, audiophile beats basically. So yeah, they focus more on the aesthetics than the sound quality, in my opinion. Maybe the sound quality is just tuned to be not referenced. Meze tends to focus more on, just making the sound musical and fun rather than being reference level. But still, I haven't really been impressed by any of their headphones so far. Not even their Meze Elites, which are their top end model. All right. Next on my list, number 13 is going to be Audis. So Audis might be a little low for some of you guys, because a lot of people love Audis, but I'm just not really a fan of their house sound. So Audis does have a house sound, and their house sound is very warm, very dark sounding, so it's very distinctive. I don't really like it that much. I've actually tried their top of the line CRB and electrostatics before. These are like $5,000 headphones, actually 4,500. But yeah, wasn't really blown away by these actually, even though they're electrostats. Electrostats are supposed to give you, a lot more presence and high end, have very fast transients and everything. Yeah, excellent dynamic range. Yeah, but I preferred the Dan Clarks and the Stacks actually, which is what I was comparing it to at the time. Even the Focal Utopias, like I just think that I was expecting more maybe from the CRBNs, but the thing about all of Audi's products, in my experience, is that they never really impressed me for the price. They've always been a little bit overpriced to me. So LCD2s are probably their most popular, well-known models. Yeah, I think these are overpriced too. First of all, I don't like the house sound. The Audi's house sound is too warm, too dark for me. Secondly, for this price, I think you can get better in terms of resolution, in terms of yeah, in terms of the actual detail, I think you can do better than Audi's. I always thought they'd be a little bit overpriced for the sound quality. Also, they're not very comfortable. I've never worn Audi's headphones that are comfortable. All their headphones have this very tight clamping force. So once you put it on, you're going to feel very tight clamping force, and it's generally very uncomfortable to wear. So that's the thing. I don't like if I'm going to be wearing headphones. I don't even care about if it has the really good sound quality. It has to be comfortable to wear for long periods of time. And Audi's headphones are not comfortable to wear. Most of them are uncomfortable. So yeah, that's the thing. I cannot recommend Audi's to people who want a comfortable headphone. Now, I have to give props to Audis for making planar magnetics kind of popular, because Audis. So there's an American company. Their headquarters in California. They say they changed the headphone world in 2009 with the LCD2. Okay, 2009. I understand that they kind of made planar magnetic headphones popular. I would say Audis and Hi-Fi Man are the ones who made the planar magnetic headphones really popular among audiophiles, but yeah, I've never really been impressed with any of Audi's offerings, especially for the price point. I remember my first pair of planar magnetic headphones, this was back in 2017, was the Audi ZL8s. Open back, actually. Those were my first pair of open back headphones, my first pair of planar magnetic headphones. And yeah, like, they just didn't impress me all that much. I remember thinking, wow, these must be amazing. They're planar magnetic, new technology, open back. I thought they would sound amazing, but they didn't. And I remember being quite disappointed by them. They didn't. I remember like my main pair of headphones before that was the Sennheiser Momentums or the Denon MM400s, and I remember the EL8s not sounding that much better than the Momentums or the Denon MM400s, and I remember being kind of disappointed by that because it's supposed to be planar magnetic open back headphones. What's all the deal about, right? I remember not thinking there's anything special about that because just the EL8s didn't impress me that much. So Audi's offerings has never really impressed me that much. They do a lot of marketing though with their phaser magnets and stuff, but yeah, it wasn't that special to me. And then after that, I remember trying the Focal Lears and the LCD ones around the same time. Yeah, the Lears just kind of blew the LCD ones out of the water in terms of the Focal Lears. I mean. Yeah, the Focal Lears just kind of blew the LCD ones out of the water. I don't know how Audis was selling the LCD ones for the same price as the Focal Lears because the Lears were just way more detailed. And yeah, like I didn't understand what the use case for the LCD ones was because, because like they're kind of portable planar magnetics, but they're open back. So why would you want to have an open back that's portable because they leak sound? So I didn't understand that. And then later on, I tried the LCD2s, which were highly acclaimed and didn't like them. Way too warm for me. Even their higher end CRBNs, a little bit disappointing for the price. I mean, considering how expensive they are. I mean, this was right after I tried the Stax and Dan Clark Carinas, so those are also electrostatics. The CRBNs just didn't measure up to those. So yeah, Audi's historically just never been satisfied with any of their headphones for the price. Although I do have to still have them on this list because I understand that they kind of pioneered the planar magnetic. Introduced planar magnetic drivers to the audiophile audience. So I have to give them credit for that. And they do make nice headphones. Don't get me wrong, they make good sounding headphones, just not for the price. I always wish that Audi's price should have been lower, especially compared to Dan Clark's or Hi-Fi Man's, which is their main competition. Compared to a similar price Dan Clark or Hi-Fi Man, you gotta step up. Audi's they just gotta cut down the prices on some of these because they're just a little bit too overpriced for me. So that's why they're a little bit lower in this list, but still got to put them on this list. I mean, I know part of the reason why they're so expensive is because they're made in California, in the US, and anything made in the US is going to be more expensive, but still, I mean, Dan Clark's are also made in the US too. And they just sound better and they're much more comfortable. So, yeah. And I would never use an Audis for mixing and monitoring. Unless maybe it's the MM series, but I've never tried the MM series, but I would never use the LCD series for mixing and monitoring because they're not reference level headphones at all. They have a Audi's house signature, which is not neutral or balanced at all. So they're very colored sound signature. So, anyways, I still think that LCD ones, for example, these are not worth $400. These are and they were just why did you have portable open backs? I don't know what's the use case for them. Yeah, if you want portable, get closed backs because open backs are going to leak sound. There's no point to make them portable. Just have them at home for listening. Home listening is basically where open backs are supposed to be. Yeah. So I'm giving Audis props. That's why they're on this list. They're on this list because I give them props for what they did for planar magnetic headphones. But as the actual headphones themselves, I've never been impressed with Audi's headphones for the price. I always found they were overpriced. I found better sounding, more comfortable headphones for the same price. And I don't like their house sound. It's way too warm and dark for me. Anyways, they're still on this list though. Yeah. Alright, number 12, Sony. So Sony's I thought about where to put Sony on this list. I like Sony for a lot of different reasons, mostly for their technologies in many different spaces. But okay, for headphones, Sony's an iconic brand for headphones because they make headphones basically across the range, across the board. They make very cheap headphones, very cheap earphones, and they make very expensive headphones. So most people probably know Sony's these days for their noise canceling headphones, the 1000XM5s, the 1000XM4s. Yeah, so these are actually in terms of their technology, they're right up there with Bose and Apple in terms of noise cancellation. So they have very good noise cancellation. They're pretty comfortable to wear. I've tried out the XM5s. I've also owned the XM3s for a long time before. So yeah, I've worn Sony headphones for a while before. So I'm aware that the technology for noise cancellation is very good. Now, when it comes to the sound quality, they're a little bit better than Bose. But that's really it. Their sound quality, I found that Sony boosts up the bass way too much. So the sound quality in general, obviously, yes, they're a little bit better than Bose, but they're still not up to the level of Bowers and Wilkins or even Master and Dynamic when you're talking about wireless headphones. But in terms of wireless headphone sound quality, yeah, I would take Master and Dynamic. I would take Bowers and Wilkins over Sony and Sennheiser, of course, as well. So there are better sounding headphones. Actually, even the Dalis, I think, sounded better to me. So in terms of sound quality, there are better sounding headphones than Sony. Now, Sony, in terms of mainstream headphones, in terms of the whole package, technology, noise cancellation, and sound quality together, yeah, they're really good. So that's why so many people recommend Sony's wireless noise canceling headphones. But in terms of just the sound quality itself, I don't think I would recommend Sony. There are better sounding headphones, but I do have to give props to Sony for the technology is really good. But Sony isn't just about the noise cancellation wireless stuff. they have a lot of different headphone models. So that's why Sony is actually ranked much higher than Bose for me. So remember how I put Bose, pretty low on my list? Uh, yeah, actually number 19 on my list was Bose, I remember. So Sony is higher than Bose by quite a few spots because they don't just focus on the wireless noise cancellation stuff. They're very good at it. They're actually very comparable to Bose in terms of noise cancellation, but they actually make a lot of higher end headphones too. Actually, a lot of lower end and higher end headphones. So like the whole range of headphones, $20. Yeah, you get this wired, I guess okay sounding headphones for the price, $20. I guess they're competing with Cost Porter Pros at that price. But they actually make really high end stuff. Look at this, $1,800, MSRP $2,000. So this is what I'm talking about. The Sony Z1R. So the Z1R is actually a very audiophile level headphone. It's very well respected in the audiophile space. I haven't tried these before, but I've tried their second most expensive model, which is the Z7M2s, which I think are just kind of the audiophile versions of the 1000XM5. So they have a lot of bass. However, they do have a nicely detailed mid-range as well. The Z1R is probably similar to that, I'm guessing. So it's got probably more detail across the board, maybe more soundstage. And I've heard that this has this has a huge bass push as well. So I guess personally, how I feel about Sony is a bit conflicting. I really have to appreciate Sony for their, the fact that they appeal to everyone. Everyone, like a very affordable headphones, like $20 headphones, all the way up to like $2,000 headphones. They have the entire range. And they're very good on the technology when it comes to noise cancellation and wireless. However, I don't like any of Sony's actual sound qualities. Like, none of their headphones are actually really good to me in terms of sound because they boost up the bass way too much. And a lot of their headphones and speakers, for that matter, are kind of like, we got to boost the bass, we got to boost the bass, we got to push. They have this X bass boost or whatever technology. Yeah, it's way too much bass for me. I know for bass heads, if you like Beats by Dre, or if you like well, if you like Bose for that matter, you might like Sony headphones because they also boost the bass. But it's not for me. I don't like Sony's boost bass thing. Yeah, these were the ones I tested before. Yeah, way too much bass. Again, too bloated for me. So the problem with Sony is I don't like their house sound. Their house sound being the bloated bass signature. Yeah, that's the reason why I can't rank them higher. But they are still number 12 on this list because I have to appreciate all they do in terms of headphone tech. Alright, number 11 is going to be Beyerdynamic. This is a headphone brand I really I liked a lot before, more than number 11 before. They would have been higher than number 11 if you asked me Beyerdynamic a few years ago. They dropped to number 11 because honestly, looking at all their headphone models, they're pretty polarizing. So Beyerdynamic is a German brand. They've been in the business for a long time. I think over 100 years, actually. They've been in business since the 1920s. So they are one of the oldest headphone brands on the... Yeah, this and Bang & Olufsen might be one of the oldest audio brands on this list. But they've been in business for a long time, since the 1920s. They make microphones as well. I think they actually started with microphones, just like with AKG. Their headphones are pretty well known and respected. The thing is about Beyerdynamic headphones is that they tend to be very polarizing. So, like, some of their headphones are just weird in terms of the tuning. So, okay, I'll tell you guys what I like about Beyerdynamic and the things I don't like. Okay, why is number 11 on my list? This is kind of a really middle of the road ranking, right, in terms of my list. It's right kind of in the middle. The reason is because, for me, one of my first audiophile level headphones was the DT770 Pros. These ones. These are very good headphones, especially for the price. $200. Very, very comfortable. So all of Beyerdynamic's headphones are very comfortable. They're one of the most comfortable headphone brands. Just like the amount of foam padding that they use and the headband, made in Germany, like very, very comfortable headphones, well built. And the DT7070 Pros, reasonably high impedance if you get the 250 ohm version. They sound pretty nice for the price. For $200? Yeah. Okay, yeah, these are one of the most comfortable headphones, if not the most comfortable headphone you can get for this price. And it's really well built, made in Germany and everything, and also sounds really, really good. I think if in terms of studio headphones, I wouldn't mind using these. These are really nice studio headphones. So DT770 Pros, I would recommend to anyone at this price range. But the thing about Beyerdynamic is for every model they have like this is a home run model. GT770 Pro is one of the best headphones I can recommend at this price range. You know, good sound quality, comfortable. It's hard to drive. That's, I guess, one thing against it. For every headphone of this model, they make another weird headphone that doesn't sound good at all. So what I'm talking about is some of their higher end stuff. Okay, so I have to say that I do like the DT1990 Pros. These are actually really one of my favorite headphones. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I like the DT1990 Pros as well. They're kind of V-shaped, but you know, well built, very comfortable, and everything. Okay, so what I'm talking about, I haven't tried the Amerons yet. I would like to try them at some point, but I haven't tried the Amerons, unfortunately. Um, yeah, what I'm talking about is their T5 and T1. So these headphones are their top of the end models. They're flagship models. T5 is closed, T1 is open. These headphones are very weird tunings. Yeah, T5 is a very weird tuning. Most people don't like it. T1, the third generation, I have the second generation, which is also kind of an odd tuning, but I kind of like it because it has a very organic, natural mid-range, but it doesn't really have too much of anything else. And the T1 third generation is basically unlistenable because there's way too much bass. So I don't know who this is for. Maybe this is for people who like beats or something like that, if you like to have a lot of bass, but I don't know why they would do this. And T1 originally was a 600 ohm headphone. Like my T1 second generation 600 ohms, very hard to drive. They made the third generation 32 ohms. So they made it really easy to drive. Okay, fine, I don't care about that too much, but you change the sound signature so much to where it's basically unlistenable. You put in way too much bass. Yeah, I don't understand what they were doing with this. So if you go to T1 here, they'll say they gently tuned it so they added more bass, but it's not gently tuned. So you see it's a gently intensive what happened there? Okay. So it's a gently intensified bass. No, it's not gently intensified. It's actually pushed up a lot. So to the point where it's basically unlistenable. So that's why I'm torn about Dynamic. I really like the fact that all their headphones are really comfortable, probably amongst the most comfortable headphones you could ever wear out of any brand. I think Dynamic, Dan Clark, and then the lower end Audio Technica is probably my choice for the most comfortable headphones ever. But okay, some of their headphones are actually really good. I like the D770 Pros, the DT1990 Pros. Okay, I like these actually. But then some of the other headphones, I'm like, what are they doing? Like T1, T5, what are they doing? I don't know. So that's why I'm very torn about Dynamic. That's why they're number 11 on this list. Anyways, that's my reasoning why they're number 11. I like some of their headphones a lot. I also don't like some of their other headphones a lot. Yeah, so they're kind of right there in the middle for me. All right, so number 10 on my list is Fostex. Fostex is a Japanese company. Originally they've been in business since the 1940s, I believe. So they're a pretty old company. Now the reason you might not have heard of them is because they actually were OEM manufacturer of headphone drivers. So they often made headphone drivers for other companies like Sennheiser and probably most notably Denon. So they made basically drivers for other companies before they kind of came up with their own name, Fostex, and then marketed that starting from the 90s. So yeah, they're plus the fact that, you know, Japanese companies in general, they don't like to market too much. So I think that's why Fostex is not too well known by most people. But, you know, anyways, I think for audiophiles, most people know about Fostex. So yeah, talking about their headphones. So the thing about Fostex is that they don't have too many models. They only really have three tiers of models, both in open back and closed back versions. So they have the T60. The T60 is pretty popular as a platform for modding by many people, but I actually haven't tried the T60 before. I know it's a popular modding headphone, like Deconi and like Argon. I think a lot of other companies they mod the T60, so it's pretty popular for modding as a platform. But I haven't really tried it myself. I think the drivers on the T60 is supposedly pretty good, so that's why some people mod it. But for me, I've tried actually headphone I haven't really seen on here yet. For some reason it's not on this list, but it's a TH610. Maybe they discontinued it. Maybe Surprisingly, okay. I guess they discontinued it, but it was a TH610. That's actually my favorite headphone. It's their closed back wooden headphone, and you can see their headphones are actually all made of wood. That's the thing about Japanese; they love using wood as a material. It displays a lot of craftsmanship. But yeah, TH610 is not on here for some reason. But that's actually my favorite Fostex headphone. It's very reasonably balanced sounding. It's got a great detailed mid-range on it, so I love that headphone. It's not actually the most comfortable because the pads are a little bit loose, but other than that, I really like that headphone. Too bad they don't sell it anymore. It doesn't seem like. I haven't tried the TH616 or the TH808. So yeah, I wonder why they discontinued the 610. And I have tried the TH900, which is their top of the line closed back, and TH909 I haven't tried before. That's their flagship open back. Thing about the TH900 is that this is a beautiful looking headphone. It's got the rishi lacquer on the ear cups and everything, Japanese cherry wood. So in terms of the appearance, it's beautiful. The sound signature is very polarizing because it's a heavy V shape. It's got a lot of bass, a lot of treble, and not much mids. So it's a pretty polarizing sound signature. A lot of people love the TH900 if they're a bass head. But for me, I think yeah, the Denons are probably better in terms of a more balanced sound signature. So yeah, I think for Fostex, the reason I have them number 10 is first of all, for Fostex, I do like the fact that like their headphones seem to be reasonably good quality, and I like their premium materials and craftsmanship and finish. The sound quality wise, it tends to be very polarizing for some of their headphones, like the TH900. And yeah, so these headphones, the TH808, TH16, 616, I haven't tried them, but from the reviews, they seem to be polarizing headphones as well. So the thing about Fostex, just like Bear Dynamic, is some of their models tend to be quite polarizing. Because of that, I don't think I can recommend them to everyone. And also the fact they don't make too many models. They only make a few models. So yeah, they don't make too many models, and the fact that they tend to make very polarizing headphones, even though they seem to be very well built and finished. Anyways, that's my opinion about Fostex. Is definitely try before you buy when it comes to Fostex headphones. All right, number 9 on my list is Final Audio, another Japanese company. Final Audio is more well known for their earbuds and ear tips, and I guess their earphones rather than their full size headphones. But they do make full size headphones, so they actually make very high end full size headphones, the D series. So if we look at the D series here, they make the D7000, D8000 Pro. So I've actually tried the D8000 Pro. It is one of the best headphones on the market. If you're talking about full-size over-ear dynamic headphones, it is one of the not dynamic, planar magnetic. Sorry. So when it comes to full-size planar magnetic headphone, it is one of the best on the market. So yeah, I do think that Final Audio makes really nice headphones. However, it is really expensive as well. So I cannot recommend it to everyone because it's super expensive. It's like $4,000, $5,000. I haven't tried the D7000 before. I think it might be a little bit cheaper. But in terms of yeah pricing, D8000 is really expensive, even though they are really good. In terms of all their earphones and stuff like that, they go the whole range. They go from like affordable earphones in the $100 range all the way to pretty expensive IEMs. So yeah, they have a lot of different products as you guys can see here, and they also make a lot of ear tips as well. So they're well known for making ear tips. Let's see, they also make the Sonorous series. I haven't tried these before. It seems pretty interesting, but I haven't tried those either. I'd like to try them sometime. I haven't seen them too much in the UX series. So Final Audio is actually not too well known for Western people because they don't really market too much in the West. They're mostly a Japanese brand that stays within Japan. Some people in the know, if you're audiophile in the know, then you kind of know about Final Audio. But yeah, for most people, they don't know too much about them. I have to say, in general, Final Audio's their products seem to be very high quality. Haven't had a letdown. I've tried their B3000. What's this? Sorry, B3. Yeah, their B3 IEMs. I've tried their Z3000 wireless earbuds. And I've tried out, of course, the D8000 Pros just for testing. Yeah, in general, all their stuff has never disappointed me. They've always been really nice quality. Sound quality has been nice, high resolution, very detailed sound quality. So yeah, everything has been. I can't say anything like that in terms of the sound quality. All their products seem to be pretty good. The only thing is that they do focus more on earphones. So this being a more or less a video on over-ear headphones, that's why I can't rank them as high in this video because they're more of an earphone maker and more than a over-ear headphone maker. Also, some of their products are on the expensive side. So yeah, they're not the cheapest. If you, I mean, they do have cheap products, but for their, they're good stuff. You definitely need to pay up for those. So yeah, I guess that's the thing is that if you really want to go higher end with vinyl audio, they do go higher end, so they do get expensive. And also the fact that they focus more on earphones than on headphones. And this is a headphone video, not really earphone video, so I'm not going to talk much about IEM brands here. Vinyl is more of an IEM brand, but they do have headphones. They are good headphones. They just don't make enough of them. All right. Number 7 on my list is Shure. Shure is a very historic American company that dates back to the 1920s. They're one of the oldest companies on this list, along with Bang Dynamic and Bang & Olufsen. They're more well known for their microphones, actually. I think everyone knows about Shure microphones, actually, the SM57, SM58. However, they also make a lot of headphones as well, mostly used for studio monitoring. So they do have a list of headphones. The 840A is one of the most detailed headphones you can get for the price range. I've also tried, actually the 550 DJs are also really good as well. 1540s these are not studio headphones. These are actually more they have more bass and they're actually more of like a fun headphone to listen to. The 1840s are very much similar to the Sennheiser HD650s, so very reference, very neutral level. So I think in general I've always been impressed with all Shure's headphones. I think for the price that you pay for them, all their headphones are under $500, so they're not expensive. They're very affordable. For the price that you pay for them, they're very, very good in terms of the sound quality, in terms of the detail. So I think the 840s, I think you'll find for like $200, $300. They have the detail level of $1,000 headphones. 1540s, very good detail as well. They're just more a fun sounding headphone. 1840s, again, these are like HD650s, except with more detail. Yeah. In general, I think all of Shure's headphones are good. They just don't make that many headphones. I mean, as you can see, a lot of them are discontinued, so they don't make that many headphones. And the fact they don't compete very much upmarket, and all of a sudden, like the other thing is their headphones, like build quality is not that good because they had to hit a certain price point. So in terms of sound quality, they're really, really good. In terms of comfort level, I think their 1540s, like the higher end models, are decently comfortable. Their lower end models are not that comfortable, like the 840s are not comfortable. Haven't tried the Ionics. And then in terms of their build quality, I mean, they're mostly plastic because they have to hit a price level. So yeah, I think that's why Shure is in my top 10. They're in my top 10 because they're fantastic value headphones in terms of sound quality. But they also cannot really be higher because they don't make enough high-end headphones, and their lower-end headphones are just, you're not going to like their comfort or build quality very much. So yeah, that's the thing. If you just care about sound quality, though, Shure headphones are the best in terms of value. In terms of value, yeah, you get the most for what you pay for. I mean, you'll get, in terms of the actual detail and resolution, you'll get headphones that compete with headphones 3 or 4 times the price. But yeah, it's just, I wish they focused a little bit more on the higher end. But yeah, they don't have as many higher end headphones, which means that most of their headphones are not that comfortable, and the build quality is not very good because they're plastic. So that's the only thing about Shure. I wish Shure would get more into high end though. They make really good lower end headphones. These headphones for their price range are unbeatable. Okay, number 6 is going to be Dan Clark Audio. Dan Clark Audio is an American company. They're started by a guy named Dan Clark, who mostly modified planar magnetic drivers. So they mostly make planar magnetic headphones. They're focused on that. They're a pretty new company. They started like a little bit more than 10 years ago. All their headphones are pretty well reviewed, I would say. I would say in general, I've tried their Aeon 2s, as well as their Aeon X. Their Aeon X open and closed, that's a kind of collaboration headphones they did with Drop. But yeah, in general, I think all of Dan Clark's headphones are pretty good. They could be expensive, like this one's the E3. I haven't tried the E3, but these are very well reviewed headphones. These are considered to be some of the best planar magnetic headphones that you can get on the market. $2,000 is expensive, but the thing is, I've heard people say that this competes with headphones that are in this $5,000, $6,000 range. You know, like these are like better than the Meze Empyreans or the Meze Elites, which are actually double the price. So yeah, and they're higher end headphones like Stealth and Expanse. I think I actually heard that the E3s are better than the Stealth and Expanse, even though the Stealth and Expanse are actually higher end headphones. And the Karinas, yes, I've tried the Karinas before at a headphone shop in Tokyo. These are their flagship headphones, $4,500. Well, let me tell you, I tried the Audis CRBNs. Remember, I talked about the Audi CRBNs and how they're a little bit disappointing. The Karinas just blow the Audis out of the water. Like, these are just fantastic sounding headphones. One of the best. These are electrostatics, right? So are the CRBNs, but these just sound a lot better for the same price. So I think in general, I've always preferred Dan Clark's over Audis. And at the same price range, I think they sound better and they're a lot more comfortable too. It's not even close actually in terms of comfort because Dan Clark's are some of the most comfortable headphones on the market. They're pretty much equivalent to Beyerdynamics when you're talking about comfort. And Audis are some of the most uncomfortable headphones on the market. So yeah, they're basically opposites. I would just get a Dan Clark over an Audis any day. The sound quality is better and they're a lot more comfortable. And plus, you have like a lot of cool features, like the Aeon 2 just folds up into a really compact shape. So I like that, and they don't have. So remember how I said Audis has a house sound, right? They have a very warm, dark sound signature. Dan Clark does not really have a house sound. They're more balanced sounding. If anything, yeah, their house sound is more of like a neutral tuning. So all of Dan Clark's headphones tend to be pretty balanced sounding, pretty much on the neutral side, to the point where I think the downside of Dan Clark headphones is that they can sound a little bit not very fun. So I guess they could be too balanced sounding to the point where, you know, they're a little bit too neutral or a little bit too analytical sounding to some people. But, you know, like the Aeon 2s. The Aeon 2s, I think it could be a little bit more detailed and it's not as fun sounding to me. Otherwise, these are nice headphones. You know, for planar magnetic closed back, yeah, it's one of the best. I think for closed back headphones, I think that's actually what Dan Clark specializes in, more so than open back. So that's actually the impressive thing about Dan Clark is that if you're looking for closed back planar magnetic headphones, I think Dan Clark is the leader. I mean, open back planar magnetic, I think I'd probably go for Hi-Fi Man, but open back, closed back planar magnetic, Dan Clark is the way to go. They pretty much mastered how to make a closed back sound more like an open back, and they make it really comfortable for you as well. So yeah, in terms of comfort, in terms of balanced neutral sound quality, and in terms of being having a nice closed back with the sound of more soundstage than a typical closed back, Dan Clark is really good. So that's why they're number 7 here. So yeah. So yeah, Shure was number 8. Sorry, Shure was number 8, right? Aeon Dan Clark was number 7. Yeah, sorry guys. If I said that Shure was number 7, I actually meant number 8. Shure is actually number 8 on my list. Dan Clark is number 7 on my list, not number 6. And number 6 on my list is actually going to be Sennheiser. Sennheiser, I think a lot of people know about this company. They're one of the most well-known headphone companies. They're a German company that dates back to the 1940s. They're also well-known for their microphones as well, just like with Beyerdynamic and Shure and AKG. So the thing about Sennheiser is I think when it comes to Sennheiser, everyone knows that Sennheiser has great sound quality in general. So when it comes to whether they're wireless headphones, so the Momentum True Wireless 4, and I've tried out the Momentum 4s, these are among the best sounding wireless earbuds and wireless headphones on the market. So with Sennheiser, you always know that you're getting a minimum level in terms of sound quality. So yeah, like whether it be wireless, the True Wireless, the Momentum 4s, or their audiophile stuff, and let me show you their audiophile stuff, they're probably most well known for their flagship HD800S. This is one of the most famous headphones on the market. It's a flagship open back headphone, one of the best sounding headphones ever. So yes, Sennheiser makes some of the most amazing sounding headphones. Okay, just right off the bat. Okay, HD600, legendary. HD800S, legendary. 660S2, a little bit more polarizing, but heard good things about 2650, legendary. 560 and 569, legendary. So has a lot of legendary designs. 820 polarizing, but anyways, most of their headphone designs are legendary designs, known for their sound quality and their balance. They're known for having very reference neutral tuning, very balanced tuning, and yeah, there's I think for a lot of people, for a lot of audiophiles, Sennheiser makes the gold standard of headphones. Okay, so why are they number 6 on my list? Why are they not, in the top 5? I'm saying all these good things about them. Well, this is my list, so that's the thing. You gotta understand, this is my list, right? I think for a lot of audiophiles, Sennheiser might be, number 1, even, not even number 1 and number 2. I mean, they're going to be a lot higher for some people, but for me, I don't like Sennheiser quite as much as other people, and the reason is because I'm not too into that tuning. Like, all the Sennheiser stuff is roughly more or less tuned pretty neutral. Um, I guess their 500 stuff maybe a little bit less neutral, but for their like 600 series and 800 series, that's their most famous series, they tend to be tuned a little bit, too reference for me. So it's kind of like the same issue with some of Dan Clark stuff. So if they're tuned too neutral, like too balanced, I don't think they're fun to listen to. They're good for studio monitoring. So yeah, definitely I would listen to like the 650s for studio monitoring or the 800s for studio monitoring. And the 800s are known for having a legendary soundstage. I've listened to the 800s before. Of course, the soundstage is amazing on it. Detail retrieval is amazing on it. But yeah, not necessarily the headphones I would pick for listening to music because the thing about Sennheiser is, yeah, I want to have a more fun sound. And I know I said about Mezes that, oh, I don't like the fact that they're too fun sounding. Well, that's because if I'm going to be paying that much for a Meze, I want to have something that has a little bit more detail as well. And also something that's, a little bit more balanced. So Sennheiser is a little bit too balanced. Yeah, it's a little bit too much in the neutral direction for me. And the comfort level, is not as comfortable as Bayer Dynamics. Also, the appearance, a little bit too industrial looking. All of Sennheiser's designs are really industrial looking. So, yeah, that's the thing about Sennheiser. I would rank it higher if it was just based on sound quality alone, but the other factors are there. The fact is, I don't like Sennheiser's tuning that much. I prefer to have like a little bit more interesting sound signature than just a pretty neutral sound signature. Wish they were a little bit more comfortable, and I wish the design was a little bit less industrial, but those are kind of my nitpicks about Sennheiser. I know for a lot of people, Sennheiser is like the GOAT headphone company, okay? I know from my audiophile friend, he really loves the Sennheiser HD800. He thinks it's the best headphone ever made. I understand, people who want to talk about Sennheiser, like, yeah, they're one of the greatest headphone companies. I understand that. Their sound quality, their tuning, everything, a lot of people love it. But for me, this is my list, so I'm sorry I had to put Sennheiser below the top 5, but it is here below my top 5. This is my top 5, So, anyways, it's going to be low ranking for some people. A lot of people have Sennheiser as one of the best, top, greatest headphone companies. For me, it's outside of my top 5 because, yeah, I just want my tuning to be a little bit more fun. Whenever I listen to a Sennheiser, I always think, man, could it be a little bit more fun? It's not just like it's too balanced, I just want something a little bit more fun. Yeah, and a little bit less industrial looking. But anyways, that's just me. Okay, number 5 on my favorite headphone companies is Focal. Focal is a French company that originally started, I think, late 70s or early 80s. Originally, they're a speaker company. So just like with Bowers and Wilkins, they started out with speakers and then headphones. They dabbled more into in the last 10 years. However, unlike Bowers and Wilkins, they actually make quite high-end audiophile headphones. So yeah, so when it comes to headphones, Focal is very well respected. They only entered the headphone space like a little bit more than 10 years ago, but they're considered one of the premium headphone brands. And yeah, the reason I have them above Sennheiser is because, so Focal, the thing is, they have some similarities with Sennheiser. The similarities they share is that just like Sennheiser, they have a neutral, balanced sound signature. That tends to be their house sound. The Sennheiser house sound is just like this balanced, neutral sound signature. The same thing with Focal. Very balanced, very neutral. And you might be saying, hey, that's the thing you didn't like about Sennheiser. Why do you rank Focal higher? I like Focal's design a little bit better than Sennheiser. I know that Sennheiser is a very industrial design. Focal is a very unique design. They have their own, yeah, they have their own unique design. You can just tell it's a Focal because, I mean, their design is distinct. So they have this cup with like a lot of holes in it. That's basically their design. Um, Also with Focal, yeah, they have a. I know they said that they're balanced, generally speaking, but they tend to focus on the mid range a lot. So they tend to have very detailed mid range. In terms of their technologies, I prefer the Focal Batis. This is their wireless headphone over the Momentum 4s. So I consider the Focal Batis the best sounding wireless headphone on the market right now. Yeah, definitely a level above the Sennheiser Momentum Force. Sorry, Sennheiser. The noise cancellation is not great, but it's not great on the Momentum Force either. But in terms of sound quality, I would take these over the Momentum Force. In terms of their wired headphones, so they have a large selection here, and I've tried many Focals. I've tried the Lears, I've tried the Clears. I haven't tried the Clear MGs. I tried the Clear Professionals. I've tried the Elexes, which is kind of like a collaboration they did with Drop, which are pretty similar to Clears, honestly. I've tried the Allegias, which are kind of their closebacks, their old closebacks, I guess. And I've tried the Utopias, which are the super high-end flagships. So with all these headphones, they're all been giving you very good sound quality for the price. So just like with Sennheiser, Focal headphones generally sound very detailed. So the sound quality is generally very good and is very balanced, just like with Sennheiser. Unlike Sennheiser, I think that they're a little bit more comfortable, and I like the design a little bit more. Also, the mid range is a little bit more forward on Focals. So that this is even with the Utopias. So, yeah, so I like Focals a little bit better than Sennheisers. So that's not to say there's a huge gap between them. I just tend to like Focals a little bit better. Now, the thing that Sennheiser does a lot better than Focal is Sennheisers have, especially the HD800, they have a lot of soundstage. So Sennheiser's good at soundstage, their HD800 especially, but yeah, compared to Focal for sure. Focal headphones, I would say the one issue with Focal headphones. Other than that, they're a little bit too balanced sometimes, a little bit too neutral sounding. Actually, the Radiance is the one that isn't. So I don't think they have the Radiance here, do they? So yeah, the Focal Radiance is their. They have a close back that they did in collaboration with Bentley Motors. They don't have it on their website anymore for some reason, but that's one of their best headphones in terms of having a more fun sound signature. That one has a little bit too much bass, but still, that's a little bit different than Focal's other headphones. Most of their headphones are very balanced, neutral sounding. Um, they don't have a lot of soundstage. So yeah, for all of Focal's headphones, including the Utopia, their soundstage is a bit anemic. So I would say that's the one issue with Focal's, but I think that's also kind of a strength as well because I think they want their mids to sound very intimate, and that's why they chose to not have a wide soundstage. So it really depends on what you want. If you want to have that very wide soundstage, then yeah, the Sennheiser HD800S. If you want to have the intimate, super detailed mids, then that's why Focal is like that. It doesn't have a wide soundstage because it wants you to focus on those intimate mids. So, anyways, Focal versus Sennheiser, I think both of these companies are both really good. They're both highly respected. They both make amazing headphones, amazing sounding headphones, like up and down the entire range. So yeah, in terms of which is more affordable, Sennheiser makes a few more affordable headphones than Focal does. I think the HD 500 series are more affordable than any of Focal's headphones. But if you go into the high range, they're pretty comparable. Really just depends on whether you want the soundstage of the Sennheisers or you want the intimate mids of the Focals, but both headphones are going to be very detailed. So yeah, anyways, Focal versus Sennheiser is always a debate, but for me, I put Focal a little bit higher. One other thing I have to note about Focal headphones compared to Sennheiser, another reason why I have Focal higher is that Focal actually makes some pretty decent close-back headphones, like the Celeste and the Stellia, which is actually their flagship close-back. Yeah, so the Stellia is actually considered a pretty nice close-back, and obviously the Radiance as well, even though the Radiance is not on here, but the Radiance is considered a pretty good close-back headphone as well, whereas Sennheiser doesn't really focus on close-backs at all. The only real audiophile close back is the HD820, which is not I would say that's a pretty divisive headphone. A lot of people don't like it. So Sennheiser's expertise is really in open backs, whereas Focal has both great open back headphones like the Utopia. They have flagship Utopia, and they have flagship closed backs like the Stellia, which are both highly acclaimed. Whereas Sennheiser's only closed back, the HD820, is pretty divisive. So yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, so I would say for closed back headphones, Focal definitely has an advantage over Sennheiser there. Right, number four is going to be Stax. Stax is a Japanese company that's been around since the 70s. They're best known for developing electrostatic headphones, which are a little bit different than planar magnetics or dynamic headphones. Um, so Stax might be the only company making sorry, not the only company because we saw Audis and Dan Clark, but they are the only company making exclusively electrostatic headphones. I think all their headphones are electrostatic. So yeah, all their headphones, they look really interesting. They have a very unique design. I haven't tried these ones before, but when I was in Japan, when I was in Tokyo, I tried the X9000, their flagship $6,200 electrostatic headphones. Let me tell you, these are hands down the best headphones I've ever listened to. Like, amazing. Yes, you need an expensive amplifier to drive them. Yes, these are very expensive, but at the end of the day, these were perfect. Like, the highs, the lows, the mids, the soundstage, the presence, the timbre, everything was so balanced and everything was amazing. Like, but it's not like with the Focals or Sennheiser HD100S or the Focal Utopias. I always felt like, okay, the Utopias, they need a little bit more soundstage. The 800S, they could be a little bit more fun, but the X9000 just had it all. It had the excitement, the energy, the presence, the soundstage, had everything. Just absolutely the best headphones I've ever listened to. So yeah, the problem with Stax is they're very, very expensive. Now, I appreciate the technology. The technology of Stax headphones are amazing. They're the only headphone maker that's exclusively electrostatic, but you need to have a lot of money to be able to run a Stax headphone. You need to have not just the Stax headphone, you need to have a specific amplifier to run them as well. So yeah, that's why I cannot put Stax any higher than fourth on my list because they're very expensive. However, the sound quality, if you can afford them, the sound quality is amazing. So they're just nothing else can compare to it really. They're electrostatics, so they're just different. They hit different. All right, number three on my list is going to be Hi-Fi Man. Hi-Fi Man is a Chinese company. They've been around since the 2000s, so roughly 20 years or so. They're well known for planar magnetic headphones. So I would say Hi-Fi Man and Audis are the two companies that introduced planar magnetics to the audiophile world. The flagship headphone is the Sesvaras, which is $6,000 headphones. I've listened to the Sesvaras before. I would say they're not worth $6,000. However, they are very, very good headphones. They're probably the most this one and the Utopias are probably the most resolving headphones. Maybe the HD100S comes close, but I think Sesvaras are more resolving than even the HD100S. So very, very detailed resolving headphones. These are also very balanced, very, very neutral. I would say bright neutral headphones. So yeah, the Sesvaras are very, very good. A lot of headphone reviewers like Headphone Show put it in the S tier. For me, it's just too overpriced. $6,000. I can't do it. I mean, the Stax at least has kind of a reason to be $6,000. The technology is super unique, but at the end of the day, so as far as our planar magnetics, and we have a lot of planar magnetics on the market. Stax, these are one of the only electrostatics on the market. I get it. Electrostatics are just more rare. So they're $6,000. So as far as their planar magnetics, the technology is a little bit easier to find. I know that Sesvaras have one of the best planar magnetics on the market, but still, at the end of the day, they're not electrostatic, so they're not as special. So I do think they're a little bit overpriced. Now, when it comes to their other headphones, though, now that's just the Sesvaras. With their other headphones, I actually think that most of them are quite good value. So HE1000 SE, I haven't tried those, but when it comes to the Sundaras or the HE400s or the HE1000s or the Arias especially, like all these headphones are actually really good, well-costed headphones. Editions as well. Yeah, especially the Arias. Like the Arias, no other headphone in its price range, especially for $760, the Aria Stealth, no other headphone for this price will beat the resolution and detail of these headphones. The HU1000s as well, $1,400. You might think that's expensive, but compared to a lot of the other headphones on my list that were more expensive, these actually beat out a lot of those in detail and resolution. However, the Arias I think are the better value. Also, HU1000s, a little bit more neutral sounding, so a little bit more neutral sounding. Arias, a little bit more fun sounding. So I actually prefer the Aria sound signature over the HU1000s. They're cheaper. HU1000s are more resolving, but not by that much, I would say. The Arias are still quite detailed. HU1000s are more detailed, but the difference is like diminishing returns there. And then when you talk about Sisvaras, even more diminishing returns. They're just a little bit more detailed than HU1000s, but not by that much, not by $4,000, $5,000. Okay, so yeah, Hyphaman's on my list as number 3 because they're probably, in terms of planar magnetic headphones, they're probably the most detailed that you can get for the price range. They just beat out any other headphone in their price range when it comes to detail and resolution. They're not the most comfortable or well-built headphones. That's their downside. They're not. The build quality is not that great. They're not the most comfortable headphones either. But in terms of just the sound quality, the detail, the resolution, they're going to beat any other headphone in its price range. So, anyways, that's why I had to have Hyphaman in my list in the top 3. Just the one more thing is don't go for the close backs. The Audivinas, these ones, they're kind of tuned weird. So I would say the Hyphaman just focus on the open backs. They're really good at open backs. They're not good at the close backs. If you want close backs, planar magnetics, go for Dan Clark's. All right, number 2 on my list is Denon. You might be surprised. Denon only makes, they only make these 4 headphones, I believe. So they don't really make that many headphones. However, all of their headphones are closed back. They don't make any open back headphones. They are also all, actually except for this cheap one, their top 3 are made of wood. So again, the Japanese wood aesthetic, right? So Den is so high because I actually think all of these are killer headphones. I haven't tried this cheap one, but all these 3, oh sorry, actually they have more headphones than this. They have wireless as well. Yeah, so they have some wireless stuff as well, but I'm just going to focus on their wired stuff. So yeah, Denon, why they're number 2 is because even though they don't have a wide selection, even though they don't do open back, these 3 are probably 3 of the best closed back headphones I've ever heard. So in terms of closed backs, Denon just kills it. 5200. Okay, 5200 is a pretty well balanced headphone. Has a little bit of a bass push, not much, but still reasonably. You can find it for cheaper than $700, usually online. For the MSRP, I think they're a little bit overpriced, but you can often find them for cheaper online. So for 5200, yeah, I think they're a pretty good headphone for the price if you can find them a little bit cheaper at a discount. 7200 would not pay this MSRP for them, but in terms of the bass response, these are as good as the Fostex TH900s, except they're more balanced than the TH900s. The TH900s don't really have much mids because they're recessed, but the D7200s actually have pretty good mids. So this is like a fixed version of the Fostex TH900s, and they're cheaper too. D9200s, these are my current closed back headphones, and I would not pay this price for them, but if you can get them cheaper, I recommend them because these are great. I don't have anything bad to say about these. These have really well balanced sound, but they're not too flat. So they sound fun because they have a little bit of a bass push. So not too much of bass, just tastefully done bass. And their mids are good, the highs are good, they're comfortable, they're well built, they're made in Japan. They have this beautiful bamboo ear cups, so their appearance is stunning. All of Denon's headphones look really nice because of these wooden ear cups too. So yeah, I would say the only thing about the Denon headphones is that at the MSRP, they're a little bit overpriced. However, if you can find them slightly discounted, I would just go for them because these are some of the best closed back headphones I've listened to. I've listened to all 3 of these. D9200, 7200, 5200, they're all around great. All of these headphones are great. Don't have much to complain about. It's just 5200. Yeah, the major difference between these 3, 7200 has the most bass out of these 3. D9200 has the most detail. But otherwise, these are all pretty nice headphones. Yeah, they're all pretty nicely built actually. So yeah, in terms of closebacks, if you're looking for closeback headphones, Denon would be my top choice to recommend. They have a lot of good closebacks. All three of these are nice, just different price ranges. Yeah, just like the only difference is, like I said, D7200 is the most bass. The most balanced actually might be the D5200 actually out of all of them. 9200, I like the flavor of it the most, and also they are have the best soundstage and the most detail. So, anyways, Denon all around good, just a little bit overpriced. If you can find them at a discount, they're really good, and also they don't have too much of a selection. They only have four headphones here, four over-ear headphones, I should say. All right, my number one is going to be kind of surprising to some of you guys. Is Audio Technica. So Audio Technica is also a Japanese brand. They've been around. So Den has been around since. Actually, Den is a really old company. They've been around since the 1900s. So they're actually the oldest company on here. I forgot about that. Yeah, Den has been around since the 1900s. They make phono cartridges. They make turntables. They make speakers, AV receivers. But yeah, they make headphones too. So I forgot to talk about that. Denon is actually a really old company, and headphones is not their main thing. They make a lot of other stuff. People are probably more familiar with their receivers, actually, but they do really nice headphones too. Audio Technica, on the other hand, yeah, they focus also on turntables, cartridges, and headphones, and microphones as well. They're also known as a microphone maker, just like with Sennheiser and AKG and Shure. But they've been around since I would say 1960s, I think. So they're a pretty old company too, not as old as Denon. But yeah, what makes Audio Technica my favorite? I know this is gonna be surprising to a lot of people because they might not think of Audio Technica, as a very high end headphone maker. Most people think of Audio Technica as a low end headphone maker, but actually, Technica makes a whole range of stuff. So to see how much stuff that they make, you can just check out their wireless stuff first. Okay, this is just for their wireless stuff. So I actually have the TWX9's wireless earbuds, which are really good. And then, yeah, they have, these are actually, I haven't really tested those before, but they have a lot of wireless stuff. And this is just the wireless stuff. Let's look at they have truly wireless noise canceling headphones, and they have gaming headsets as well. I didn't know that actually. Didn't know they had gaming headsets. Studio headphones, yeah, is what I'm talking about. So they're high end stuff. So they make a lot more high end stuff than people think. So we're talking about let's look at all their headphones here. Oh, whoops! This is actually not even all their stuff. R70X, I've tried those before. Audiophile headphones. Here we go. Okay, so Audio Technica makes just so many different headphones. Okay, so yeah, they make wireless headphones, they make gaming headsets, they make studio headphones, and they make audiophile headphones. And they make pretty high-end stuff. So most people think of Audio Technica just as cheap headsets, cheap headphones, the M50X, etc. But they make really high-end stuff. Like this one, the AWKG is $5,800. Holy crap! Right, this is almost as expensive as a Stax. Um, then the ADX 5000, $2,800. The AWKT, which I've tested before, $2,500. AWAS, I wish I tested these. I haven't tried those out before. The AP 2000 Ti is actually a very interesting headphone that I've tried before, 1,700. A WP 900, I've tried these before too, $900. Yeah, so I've tried a lot of these headphones before as well. They're all very interesting headphones. I think what I like about Audio Technica is kind of the opposite of Sennheiser in a lot of ways. Sennheiser is known for like a signature sound, right? The balanced tuning. So same thing with Focal, very balanced tuning. Audio Technica, their headphones are all over the place. They don't have a house sound because their headphones are all over the place in terms of tuning. And to a lot of people, that's a bad thing, but to me, I actually like it. I like that Audio Technica experiments with tunings a lot. So I have no idea what the WKG sounds like. $5,800 headphones. But I do appreciate that, just like with other Japanese companies like Fostex and Denon, Audio Technica takes a lot of pride in their craftsmanship. So yeah, like beautifully crafted headphones for their closebacks. They put the wooden headphones, again, that's a Japanese thing, but these are like ZMF level, I think. ZMF level in terms of their closebacks. And For their open backs, they look like Sennheisers. So yeah, and all their headphones have very interesting tunings. They not necessarily be the best sounding headphones for their price range, but to me, they're the most interesting. AWKTs, very focused on the upper mid range. So these are these are basically, if you like upper mid range and you like a beautiful wooden Kotukan cup, that's Japanese type of ebony, I think. Yeah, these are headphones for you. And then Japanese cherry wood for the AWS, more balanced sounding, I think. AP2000 Ti's, these are very focused on the high end. Also have titanium ear cups, so very interesting too. WP900, some kind of Japanese maple here. And these headphones also sound pretty good for their size. They're a little bit smaller, but they sound pretty good for what they are. And yeah, like all the Audio-Technica headphones I've tried, they all sound very interesting. They're not like necessarily the best, most resolving headphones or the most audiophile balanced headphones. They're not like that. None of them are really that balanced. Maybe the ADX5000 comes closest, but yeah, all of them are pretty interesting sounding to me. Actually, my first set of audiophile headsets is the Audio-Technica A900s. I think that was my first pair of decent headphones that I've had in my life. So I have a bit of a sentimental spot for Audio-Technica. My first noise canceling headsets were also from Audio-Technica as well. So yeah, I have a soft spot for Audio-Technica because they're kind of like the first good headphones I ever had. So yeah, and I've tried many of their headphones before. They're not for everyone, for sure. I mean, all of them have very different tunings. They're not for everyone. They're not the most resolving headphones. They're not going to be as detailed as a Focal or have like the massive presence of a Stax or have the soundstage of the HD800s from Sennheiser. So I get it. Like a lot of people wouldn't have Audio-Technica as their number one, but this is my list. So personally, for sentimental, my personal reasons, I like to have Audio-Technica as my number one because I love how they experiment so much with their headphones. They have such a diverse lineup, right? It's like this is just their audiophile lineup. So they have headphones that look like Denons and Fostex with the beautiful wooden ear cups. They have headphones that look like Sennheiser with the open back like that. At the same time, they have studio-looking headphones that look like Shure's. At the same time, they have gaming headsets that look like Logitech, and at the same time, they have noise-canceling headphones that look like your typical noise-canceling stuff from other manufacturers. And at the same time, they also have truly wireless headphones that compete with any of the other ones. So yeah, and I have to say the TWX9s compete with any of the wireless earbuds I've tested before in terms of sound quality. So Audio Technica, like they make everything from like the really cheap stuff, like $20, all the way up to the entry level M50, which I think most people are familiar with the M50X, the R70X, which I've actually reviewed on before on my channel, really good studio level headphone, all the way up to the very high audiophile stuff. Like I have the AP2000 Ti's, which are like $1,300, I would say US retail, quite a bit. And then I have the AWKTs, which are like $2,000 almost. And now you guys have saw like they even have a $5,000 headphone. So they have a massive range of headphones, even more than Sony. Sony goes from like $20 stuff all the way to $2,000 stuff. Audio Technica goes from $20 stuff to $5,000 stuff, and they're in more like even more fields than Sony is actually when it comes to headphones. I don't think that Sony makes dedicated gaming headsets, but Audio Technica does. So I mean they compete everywhere. So yeah, like it's pretty. It's pretty astonishing, honestly. So that's part of the reason I have to have Audio Technica number one on my list. Yeah, they just make such a wide variety of stuff for everyone. And I think they're kind of an underrated brand. Like even people don't really realize the amount of stuff that Audio Technica makes. Like they probably just know the lower end entry level stuff. Like for many people, Audio Technica is kind of the gateway audio brand to audiophile level stuff, right? Kind of similar to how Klipsch is like the gateway to a lot of speaker brands, which is another reason why Klipsch is actually number one in my speaker ranking. But Audio Technica, yeah, it's kind of the gateway brand for a lot of headphone lovers. So, anyways, it's the brand that I wouldn't say it's necessarily worth it for the price. A lot of Audio Technica's higher end headphones, I think, are a little bit overpriced, but I will say that all their headphones are very interesting to listen to. They're all very unique, all very interesting to listen to, and they have such a diverse lineup. So that's why they had to be number one on my list. I just love how Audio Technica is just, they appeal to so many people. They have such a large, diverse lineup. And yeah, they might not be the best headphones in their price range, but for me, they are the most experimental brand. And I love Audio Technica for how much diversity they have in their brand. So yeah, that's why I have Audio Technica as my number one. They're super diverse. They just make everything, and they have really cool, interesting tunings for their headphones, I should say. So not necessarily for most people, but I like them. So that's it, guys. That's my list. My top 20 headphone brands. Let me know if you guys agree, disagree. What you guys think of my ranking. And as always, leave my comments in the section below. Um, yeah, I'm always interested to hear your guys' feedback. So yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Let me know if I missed one of your headphone brands. I'm pretty sure Sennheiser was ranked a little bit too low for most people, but anyways, it's my list, right? So, listen, guys, as always, thanks for watching.